My wife's family treated me like a wallet. A real man provides without complaints. Her sister scoffed as they demanded I pay for their vacation. I smiled, then cut them off completely. A week later, they were frantic. My inbox flooded with 30 unread emails begging for help. Hey everyone, before we dive in, I have a quick favor to ask. If you enjoy content like this, please hit the subscribe button. It's free, supports the channel, and ensures you never miss out on amazing videos. Alright, let's get started. I never thought I'd be posting here, but after tonight's disaster of a family dinner, I need to get this off my chest. Just thinking about my sister-in-law Mella's smug face makes my blood boil. Some background. I'm 35M, have been married to Diana, 32F, for 6 years. We're doing okay, not rich by any means, but comfortable. I worked my ass off to build my small construction business, starting with just a beat-up truck and doing odd jobs. Diana is a teacher, and we live within our means in a modest house. The problem? Her family, specifically her older sister Michaela, 36F, who's been treating me like her personal ATM since day one. At first, it was small stuff. Emergencies where she needed a few $100, promises to pay it back that never materialized. I let it slide to keep the peace. Diana would always say, that's just how Michaela is, or family helps family. But tonight was different. We were all at Diana's parents' house for their weekly family dinner. Me, Diana, Michaela, and her husband Carl, who never says a word, their mom Violet, and the youngest sister Ela. Michaela was going on and on about this amazing vacation package she found, a 2E beach resort trip for the whole family. I wasn't really paying attention until she turned to me with that fake smile of hers and said, "So Miles, when can you transfer the money? The deposit's due next week." I nearly choked on my drink. What money? For the vacation, silly. I found this great deal, only $2,800 per couple. That's nothing for you, right? You're always talking about how well your business is doing. The audacity of this. I looked around the table. Everyone was staring at me expectantly like this was completely normal. Diana was suddenly very interested in her plate. "I wasn't consulted about this vacation," I said firmly, "and I'm not paying for it." The temperature in the room dropped about 20 degrees. Michaela's face twisted into this weird mix of shock and anger. "What do you mean you're not paying? We already told the kids you can't back out now." She turned to Diana. "Tell your husband to stop being difficult." Diana finally spoke up, but weakly. "Maybe we should discuss this later." That's when Violet, my mother-in-law, chimed in. "Miles, dear, you know how much the family needs this break. Everyone's been so stressed lately." I cut her off. "No, I'm not paying for everyone's vacation. That's insane." Michaela stood up, her chair scraping against the floor. A real man provides without complaints. Carl never questions helping family. Carl, who makes half what I do, just stared at his plate. That's when I lost it. "Let me make something crystal clear. I'm not your bank. I've kept track of every emergency loan over the past 6 years. You owe me over $22,000, Michaela. Not a single cent repaid." The room exploded. Michaela started screaming about how dare I keep track. That's not what family does. Violet was crying about how I was tearing the family apart. Ela was texting furiously, probably updating the extended family drama group chat. I pulled out my phone, opened my notes app, and started reading out loud. March 2022, $3,000 for Carl's medical emergency. Funny since he posted pictures from Atlantic City that weekend. December 2022, $5,000 for urgent house repairs, yet you bought a hot tub that month. Should I continue? "Those were different," Michaela shrieked. "You're supposed to help family. What kind of man keeps score like that?" I stood, hitting the wall with my chair. "The kind who's done being used. You want a vacation? Pay for it yourself. In fact, you have 90 days to start paying back what you owe me, or I'm taking it to small claims court. I have every transfer documented." Diana finally found her voice. "Miles, please," but I was done. "We're leaving now." The drive home was tense. Diana was quiet until we pulled into our driveway. "They're going to make this horrible," she whispered. "They already have," I replied, turning off the engine. "But I'm done playing their game." My phone's been blowing up with messages from the family. Apparently, I'm heartless, cruel, and destroying family bonds. Michaela posted a vague Facebook status about fake people showing their true colors with about 40 sympathetic comments. Diana's torn. She knows I'm right, but keeps saying, "That's just how they are, and maybe we could help a little." But I'm standing firm. No more. I've blocked Michaela's number and muted the family group chat. Tomorrow, I'm calling my accountant to get all the loan documentation in order. Let them scream and cry. I'm done being the family ATM. Am I being too harsh? Part of me feels like I should have handled it more diplomatically. But 6 years of this is enough. Edit. Thank you for all. I'll update when there's more to share. Right now, I need to return some calls and start documenting everything. Becky wants to play games with my livelihood? Game on. Update. Thanks for all the support on my last post. A lot has happened since then, and honestly, I'm still processing everything. Quick recap. I refused to fund my sister-in-law Michaela's family vacation plans that somehow only included her immediate family, and she threw a fit about how real men provide. The situation has gotten way worse. Yesterday morning, I was having coffee on our back porch, scrolling through my phone, when Diana came out looking worried. She showed me her screen. Michaela had created a private family group chat excluding me, where she was painting this whole narrative about how I'm financially abusing Diana by controlling all the money. The screenshots went on, with Michaela dramatically describing how Diana can't even buy coffee without asking permission. Absolute BS. Yes, we have separate accounts and shared accounts. I laughed it off at first, but then Diana scrolled further. Michaela had somehow convinced my wife's entire extended family that I was this controlling monster. She even shared a link to some article about financial abuse warning signs. The chat was full of comments like, "I always knew something was off about him," and "You need to protect yourself, Diana." The real kicker? Michaela brought up the time I helped her with rent last year when Carl lost his job. Except in her version, she had to beg for days, and I made her gravel before helping. Reality? I transferred the money within an hour of her asking, no questions. That's when something clicked. All those emergency requests over the years, all those tearful phone calls about bills. Diana was furious. She immediately called Michaela, put her on speaker. Big Michaela started screaming about how I've changed, how Diana turned her against her own family. When Diana mentioned our separate accounts, Michaela actually said, "Oh honey, you really believe you have control over that money? He probably monitors every penny." That's when I heard Violet, my mother-in-law, in the background. "Diana, we're just worried about you. Remember how he refused to help with Michaela's vacation? What kind of man does that to family?" I watched my wife's face change. She ended the call mid-rant and just sat there for a minute. Then she opened her banking app and took screenshots of her transactions, coffee shops, random Target runs, online shopping, all without any permission from me. She posted them in the family chat. Michaela's response? "He's obviously making you do this. We're having a family meeting tonight. No excuses. We went. My decision." Diana wanted to ignore it, but I knew better. Never let someone else control the narrative. The meeting was at Violet's house. The moment we walked in, I could feel the tension. Carl wouldn't meet my eyes. Ela, the youngest sister, was nervously picking at her nails. Violet had that look, you know the one, like she was ready to play the concerned mother role. Michaela started in immediately. "Finally ready to explain yourself, Miles? How you're treating my sister?" I stayed calm, pulled out my phone. "Actually, yes, let's talk about treatment. Let's talk about the $2,300 you borrowed for Carl's truck repair." I turned to Carl. "Except there was no truck repair, was there?" Carl looked confused. "What truck repair?" That's when it all started unraveling. Turns out Michaela had been playing both sides, telling me they needed money for emergencies, while telling Carl she'd won it, playing online slots or gotten bonuses at work. The vacation fund she'd been telling everyone I'd already agreed to pay for months ago. The screaming started again. Michaela calling me a liar, Violet trying to calm everyone down while simultaneously telling Diana, "This isn't how we raised you." Isla crying. Carl just sitting there, looking shell-shocked. As more lies came to light, I stayed seated, calm, let them yell every accusation, just proved my point. Diana stood by me, literally and figuratively, adding up the emergency loans on her phone. $15,400 over 3 years, all while they lived above their means, posted beach trips on Instagram, bought designer bags. Finally, when Michaela screamed, "You're dead to this family," I stood up, looked her right in the eyes. "You're right about one thing. I am dead to this family, and so is my wallet." We left. Diana hasn't stopped apologizing, but I keep telling her she's not responsible for her family's actions. She's blocked everyone except Ela, who sent a private message saying she had no idea about the loans and manipulation. The best part, this morning I got a text from Carl asking to talk man to man. Apparently he's found some interesting credit card statements. I haven't responded yet, but I'm done playing nice. They wanted to paint me as the bad guy? Fine. Let's see how they handle it when I actually become one. Next moves are already planned. No more Mr. Nice Guy. Update. Just got a string of panic texts from Michaela about how, "We're family, can't we talk about this?" Too late. TLDR. Sister-in-law tried to turn the family against me with lies about financial abuse. It backfired when her own lies about loans and money came to light. Now I'm done playing nice. Update 2. If you haven't read my previous posts, check my profile. TLDR. My in-laws, led by Michaela, treated me like their personal ATM for years. When I refused to fund their luxury vacation, they tried turning my wife Diana against me. Now they're learning what happens when you push too far. It's been 2 weeks since my last update, and holy, what a roller coaster. Remember how I mentioned I had a plan? Well, it's time to share what went down. First thing Monday morning, I sent emails to everyone who owed me money. Simple, professional. As discussed, this is a formal request for repayment of loans totaling amount Please arrange payment within 30 days. Attached were screenshots of their texts begging for money, my transfers, and their promises to pay back. Yeah, I kept receipts. Always keep receipts. Michaela was first to call, screaming about how I was attacking family. I let her rant on speaker while Diana listened. How dare you demand money from us? We're family. Carl just got that new gaming setup. We can't afford this right now. That's a $3,000 problem you created. I replied calmly. You borrowed that money for your emergency roof repair 6 months ago. Funny how you had money for Carl's toys but not to repay us. She hung up. 10 minutes later, mother-in-law Violet called Diana crying about how I was tearing the family apart. Diana finally snapped. Mom, you're tearing this family apart by enabling Michaela's entitled behavior. Then came the group chat explosion. Layla, the youngest sister, started posting old screenshots of Michaela bragging about her shopping spree right after claiming she couldn't pay bills. Carl's gaming setup bought the same week. Michaela told us they couldn't afford their car payment. The emergency dental work money went to her Botox. Each receipt I'd gathered hit like a bomb. The family WhatsApp became a war zone. Years of resentment surfaced as relatives realized how much Michaela had borrowed from everyone. Cousin Emma revealed Michaela had guilted her into paying for half their shared vacation rental, which Michaela then claimed full credit for gifting to their parents. Michaela showed up at our house unannounced, mascara running, screaming about how I was destroying her reputation. Diana calmly pointed to our Ring camera and said, "You're doing that yourself right now." Michaela tried to force her way in. Bad move. I called the non-emergency police line while Diana recorded everything. The responding officer was polite but firm. Try this again. Get trespassed. The real karma. Michaela's employer follows her on Instagram. All those sick days she took, she posted herself shopping or at the spa every single time. Someone, not me apparently, sent screenshots to HR. She's on final warning now. Carl finally grew a spine after discovering Michaela maxed out their shared credit card on designer bags. He called me privately, voice shaking. Man, I should have listened when you warned me years ago. How do I protect myself? I gave him my financial advisor's number. He's staying with his brother now, figuring out next steps. Violet's still enabling Michaela, but the extended family's done. No more loans, no more guilt trips. Uncle Jim announced the next family reunion won't be at Michaela's house, which she volunteered everyone else to fund, but at his lake cabin instead. Those who can pitch in, great. Those who can't, just bring a dish to share. The best part, Diana's never been more certain about us. Last night, she looked at me and said, "I'm sorry I didn't see it sooner, but I'm so proud you stood up to them. We stood up to them." Then she showed me texts from her high school friends about how Michaela had borrowed money from them too, claiming Diana was in on it. She used my relationships to scam people. Never again. Michaela sent 30-plus emails ranging from rage to begging. The last one just said, "I know you're reading these. You've ruined everything." Actually, she ruined everything herself. I just stopped hiding the evidence. Some family members are pissed that I went nuclear, but others, they're thanking me for finally exposing the rot. Diana's cousin even sent us a gift card with a note for having the courage we didn't. The vacation they demanded I pay for was canceled. Instead, Diana and I are taking her elderly aunt, the only one who warned us about Michaela years ago, on a weekend trip. She's always wanted to, but could never afford it because she was too busy helping family. Karma's not a she's. It's just really good bookkeeping. No legal drama needed, no complex schemes, just the consequences of their own actions finally catching up. Sometimes the best revenge is simply stepping back and letting people face the reality they created. Final update. First, thank you all for the overwhelming support. Your comments helped me stay focused when things got ugly. If you haven't read my previous posts, the short version is my in-laws, led by Michaela, treated me like their personal ATM for years. When I refused to fund their luxury vacation, they tried turning my wife against me, saying a real man provides without complaints. Well, it's been 2 months since I cut them off completely, and holy, the fallout has been both satisfying and brutal. You guys wanted an update, so here it is. Remember how Michaela always bragged about their perfect life on Instagram? That facade crumbled fast. Last week, Diana got a hysterical call from her at 11 p.m. Their electricity had been cut off. Turns out they'd been living paycheck to paycheck, using my loans to maintain their lifestyle. The vacation fund they demanded? They needed it to catch up on 3 months of missed mortgage payments. The real bomb dropped during a family dinner last Sunday. Diana insisted we go, saying Violet had promised everyone would apologize. Yeah, right. The moment we walked in, Michaela started her usual manipulation. "Miles, please, we're family. Carl lost his overtime at work and Lila's wedding is coming up." I just pulled out my phone, opened my notes app, and started reading out loud every loan they'd taken from me over the past 5 years. Dates, amounts, their excuses. $43,000 total. The room went dead silent. Then Carl, who's been quiet all these years, finally snapped. Not at me, but at Michaela. You said it was just $5,000. You told me Miles was being dramatic. He was red-faced, shaking. Turns out she'd been hiding the true extent of their borrowing from him. That's when things got ugly. Violet tried to play peacekeeper. We can work this out as a family. But I wasn't done. I pulled out more receipts, screenshots of Michaela's texts to Diana calling me weak, saying I wasn't a real provider. Like Carl, his face when he read those, I almost felt bad. Almost. The shouting started. Carl stormed out. Lila broke down crying about her wedding plans falling apart. Violet tried guilt-tripping Diana. How can you let him destroy our family like this? Diana's response? She pulled up her banking app and showed everyone how Michaela had borrowed $2,000 from her teacher's retirement fund last year and never paid it back. That's when Michaela lost it. She started screaming about how I'd poisoned Diana against her family, how I was trolling and abusive. Big mistake. Diana grabbed her phone, opened Facebook, and started a live video right there in the dining room. Tell everyone how Miles is abusive, she said. Tell them how he paid for Mom's car repairs, your kids' summer camp, and Lila's college textbooks. Tell them how he worked overtime to loan you money while you called him weak behind his back. Michaela ran upstairs crying. Violet followed, shouting about how I'd broken her daughter. Good. Let them feel what it's like to be cornered and manipulated. The aftermath. Carl is staying with his brother. He finally checked their credit card statements and discovered Michaela had maxed out 3 cards. Lila had to cancel her fancy wedding venue. Turns out Michaela had promised to help pay for it with the money she expected to get from me. She's now planning a backyard wedding instead and actually apologized to me personally. The best part? Diana found her backbone. When Violet tried calling her at work to guilt-trip her again, Diana simply said, "Until you all take responsibility and pay back what you owe, we're done," then blocked their numbers. They're scrambling now. Michaela is selling her designer stuff on Poshmark. Violet's telling everyone who will listen that I've ruined the family. But here's what really kills them. I'm helping Lila with her smaller wedding, not with money. She didn't ask for it. I'm letting her use my truck to move decorations and connecting her with local vendors I know. She's the only one who owned up to her mistakes and is trying to change. Last night, Diana thanked me for standing firm. I always knew they were using us, she said, but I was too scared to admit it. You didn't just stand up to them, you showed me how to do it too. To everyone who told me to document everything and stay calm, thank you. To those who said I was being too harsh, watching them face the consequences of their actions isn't revenge, it's reality. Like today's story, a super thanks helps me keep bringing you the best daily content. Your support means I can keep doing what I love. Thanks for being awesome.